So hi everybody and welcome back to the Unreal 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This video 53, and in this video we continue with our trace. And what is the trace again? This is that when the character comes, I can shot here a sphere trace, a line trace or whatever, and we are going to create this one now. So in our last video we already created here some control keys. So this control keys, when you press the L key for example, then we created a boolean, and this boolean will be set to skill pressed and skill released. But again, you can make this in different ways. Important is just that it works later. So, and again, the reason why I make this with this bool variable is because I want to use tick, and using tick is all time a bad thing normally, because tick means you have to be careful that you not fire every frame a heavy calculations or heavy code, and to avoid that, that's why I have this control variables, these two booleans, so I can just use it when it's pressed and release, that it sets back so the tick is not firing every frame. Okay, let's get started. First of all, you get the tick. If you don't have one, right click, write tick, and if you write not rick, if you write tick, then it should pop up event tick here. This one and this one I have already there. And from this point, let's make it here. I make just a copy. The first thing is now that what we created the last time, this is I called it here skill to pressed. You get this one and just get, and from here a branch. Of course you can use also the shortcuts branch and B for branch, alt and control for get and set variables and something like that. And yeah, and here by default it is not ticked here in details panel so that we can use it so that we have to click it, then we set it, and then it goes through. All right, then this do once node here has a special meaning, so I make it later because I will explain it then later. Instead we are jumping directly to our trace. So again, from this point write trace, and there are different kind of trace. There will be a line trace, sphere trace, and even other trace things. And again, I can't find it here, so let's write it. Let's write a sphere trace here, because I made this example with a sphere. And the reason why I made here a sphere trace by channel it is called, and you can see here there are many other options as well. Just click sphere trace by channel. This is just for demonstration purposes, and let me move this a little bit down so that we have enough room, like so. And then oops, this one, so okay. And then if you have the trace here, then you can see the sphere trace has here a start location where the sphere trace should start, and at the end location. And then we have something like, because it's a sphere, a radius here. And this radius is how big the sphere should be. So 0 is not good. Let's write here something like 10 or 20 for demonstration purposes. And then a trace channel, this one will be later also interesting, which channel you use. Let's keep this by visibility. Let me see what I use here as well, visibility, okay. And this trace channel means later, if the other collision is set, for example block visibility or something like that, this one can react to this one. Okay, but visibility works here. And if it's not working, check the collision trace channels if it's blocked or not. And what I mean with trace channel, by the way, visibility or this camera, what is that? Let me show you this fast as well. Let's go to the character, for example. oh, that's the character. Then, for example, let's go here to the camera, and you can see the camera has something else. Oh, that's the camera boom actually. But let's go here. Oh, let's go to the capsule component, and then you can see that, for example, here it's selected, in my case, collision pawn. Here the pawn is selected, right? But here you can see trace response, and visibility is in the character, for example, ignored. Camera is blocked, and this trace channel will react to this one, what is set there. And most time this visibility is most time not ignored, I think, but in this case it's ignored. All right, we will see this on this one here. Let me check the other AI as well. So let's go here, let's write here collision, and it says even no collision, capsule collision. And you can see the visibility here on my AI is blocked, and blocked means the trace, when it hits, it will react to it. So if you make this one, set it to blocked of your what you want trace, so that it may generate overlap events or hit events or something like that. Okay, and yeah, so let's go on and with our setting. So that was our visibility here, this was our trace channel, it's okay. And we can ignore the other things, so you can read this in the documentation. And for debug purposes, debug means just for our test here, like I do here. For example, I want to see if I hit it or not. For example, I turn, I press now, I press anything, it's not working. That's a bad sign. Did I change here something? Let's see. F, yeah, I have changed the tick, of course it's not working, but what I mean is when I have debug, we was talking about debug, when I press F you can see that, and that you can see that is just for our test purposes. So later in game you are not using that, but for test purposes let's set it so that we have it. And let's set this last one persistent, which means it stays there where I pressed it. And then you can click this one down and set some color as well if you like, and how long it is, but we can set this we can keep this on default. All right, with that said, that's the trace which we are going to use. The logic later is just calling the damage. So important is that you set up this trace correctly, and important is this start and this end. And the difficulty about the start and end is just the angel. So how to decide that. And this logic here is how we make this. So how we get this. First of all, we get the get actor rotation, because I'm here on my third person character. So let's write, so get actor rotation. This is this one, exactly the same code like here. And this will get now my player character's rotation. Okay, that's easy. And then we get from this rotation the forward vector. This is also a built-in function. Get forward vector, and with this forward vector you can now calculate the angel. And this is actually already now in this one because we can set this here. You can see this here as well. This is just setting our distance. So for example, this is the forward vector. We set a distance, so we have to create a variable. Let's go here to the variable section. Let's call this one trace distance. I got it already, that's why I call it second. And then let's make it what you like. In this case I have used a float, so I can use also a float here. Then compile, save. This will have select your distance, set here the default value in the details panel here on the right side, and I set it here 500 for test purposes. Set it what you like for test. Oops, sorry. For test purposes, I set it also to 500, and then you can take this out, get this here, and then multiply, write multiply, or yes, this is a multiply, and then you can connect this one here. This will be converted automatically. That's nice, to the float. And if you, of course, you could call this as well, but auto convert is all time nice. And then when we have that, we have to get now the start location, the end location. The start location is the character itself location. That's why we get here the node get actor location. Get actor location. This node here, and this one you can connect here to the start position. This is where this trace will start off. And then you are interesting, you are adding this one with this trace. I'm not sure why adding, but this is just to make the distance. So let's add this plus. When you write plus, it comes a add, and then you can add this one here. If you press Control, you can even drag this here when you have this not on the right side. And this one here, you drag also from get actor location, and then you connect it here to the end. Important here is, like I said, this one is just adding to this distance from the start location. This distance what you have made here, 500, will be added to the start location from your character, and the angel is calculated through this one here. Get actor rotation, get forward vector, and this one will create the angel. So that's nice. Okay, I hope that was not too difficult. And after this one, what we are going to do is we compile first, save that, and then we will break the hit result. What is the hit result? This is this out hit. From out hit, you get all the results when the trace took place, right? So let's drag this out and make a break hit result. Let's click on this little arrow here. And now you have many options what you can take, but we are just now interested in hit actor, because if I hit a special actor, I want react, and you can see I use again get display name. No, that's not. This is just a check that we don't need. What I use here is the actor has tag again, and then with the tag name, the what you want hit. Of course, you can also cast and all this kind of stuff, but actor as tag is all time nice. So let's make this. So actor has tag, and then you have to find the tag name of the actor which you want check. In my case, for example, enemy. And this is again a example. Perhaps you can change this later if you have many other actors, but in my case, enemy. That's this tag here. By the way, again, you go to the character. For example, here this wolf is this wolf character here. You go here to the details panel, write tag, and then here's the tag section, and then that's strange. Let me see something. Here again on top here, select here on top, and then write tag, because then you have here this section actor, and that's very important because there are different kind of tags here. And here in the actor section there is this tag here, and here you can then set the tag what you like. When you click here plus, and in my case you can see it's set to enemy, which means my character can when the sphere trace shot, my character will recognize this one with this check here. And then we make here a branch again. You can press B for shortcut, and then we can check this one here. And with that said, this was just to check which actor I want recognize with this one, or react to the short one. This one we can go up again, after this one. And then the next thing is we want call, but before we go on, here is one more step what I made. And the thing here is just a valid check, because it can happen that you're shot and there is nothing, because it tries to check this one and there is nothing. So we have to make sure that this one is valid, or we get an error message there. So let's make this one as well. So to make valid, you go here from hit actor, you go out, and then you write here is valid, or you can even make this with the return value, by the way, as well, but we make it with the is valid. Here is also okay. And then you just connect the valid. This valid node here will just check if whatever comes from here is something. So if there is a null pointer, which means if there says none or nothing, it will be invalid and it goes not on. But if it's valid, which means it has here a name which can be verified, it will let you through here, and then you can do what you want, because if this is valid, then the actor will be checked here if this is the right actor, and then if it's the right actor, we want to do something. And we already set this up, what we do. Where we set this up, that was with enemy 1 take damage. So you can use the damage system which we already set up, and now just call it. So what I do here is this damage system, I just call the damage system which we have. So you should have a damage system, and if not, you just create a new damage system. It's also not too difficult, because I showed you this in one of my other videos. And then we have just to call it, like I said, and you can see I have already a reference to the game mode here. So if you don't have one, you create a reference in Begin Play. You go up there and make a reference to the game mode, in my case, because the damage which I cause is in the game mode. And again, with this references, careful, there are better ways. This is just for prototyping most time. And then from here, after you have the game mode, you call the damage system. In my case, it is called here anyone take damage. Let's write so enemy 1 take damage. This one is the damage system which you should have. And then, very important now, again, we have here the second skill. We set this one here to false later. So we set it 2 times for false when we release, and false here as well, which is a different thing, so that it's firing only 1 time. Alright, we set this skill 2 set, and this one to false, because at start it was set to true. From here it goes here, then it tries all this kind of stuff, and later we set it to false, which means if you press again this event tick, it will if the tick comes here again, this one should be false. So we can test that. So when I press now L, it should work. Let's see what happens. It comes, I press L now, and indeed it worked. But here is a problem. Look what happens. Look this. I press L, I keep pressing, and I walk, and oh, what's going on? That looks not good. And here comes now why I have additionally this this second check here with, you can see here this do once. It is a do once, and this do once should just reset check again. It is just a second check if this goes here through, and this one has done one and it's resetted. So it is a so that you can't press it and walk it and press so that you trigger it all time anyhow. It is removing this triggering anyhow. And if you don't have this, you can. And let me show you. Let's make a do once move after this one. you go up and write a do once. Again, this do once you can make also with variables, but I was too lazy. And I keep this one. And then the reset here. You set here to reset from the false place. And that's all what you need. And then you compile save again. You go here. And then we start again. We press L and I walk now. And nothing happens. So this do once is doing indeed the thing which it should. I can't. I can only make more when I press L. Also when you see now, these are all separate pressed. It's not. And we are doing our thing. So this should work. And yeah, that's it for this one. And this is again, yeah, it's also very simple. Actually, it's just in real, it's just this little setup with the sphere trace. If you have set up this node, all the other stuff here, what comes later, is just a setup. And again, this one I did only because, yeah, there was a bug with this collision box, which I think it's normally very nice, and I have to, I want to not go into C++ and figure out why it's coupled with the camera. And that's why I showed you now this solution. I hope it's not too difficult as well. I think, yeah. So again, here is this end solution. We use a tick. We use this one here with this tick. This one is just for check so that we can't press again and it is not firing all time. And this trace, if you set up this one with the start and end position, that's the important part. And the other part is just here the hit actor. Here check valid. Here is just instead casting I use has the actor, and this is the take function, damage function, which we already made. And at last you are setting this again to false, so that again you can't, it's not triggering all time. And here is the damage which we already set up. That was also not tested, but we made this already, I think. And yeah, with that said, if you have any questions like all time, write it in comment section. See you in the next video. Bye, good luck, and have fun.